In all 6 Republican-led states that had these election integrity forces, the forces overwhelmingly targeted minorities and Democrats for prosecution. An analysis by the Washington Post showed that Black and Hispanic individuals made up more than 75% of the defendants these Republican-led efforts chose to prosecute. The point of these election integrity forces is not actually in election integrity. It is intimidation. Black and brown Americans and Americans who have any hint of a question about whether or not they're allowed to vote, this is all about keeping those people away from the ballot box. People who, let's be honest here, tend to be Democrats. The Republicans behind these efforts aren't shy about the fact that they're trying to prosecute Black people for technicalities and mistakes. That's actually the point. And for years now, the clearest, most damning example of all of this has been the story of Crystal Mason. Back in 2016, Crystal Mason tried to vote in the general election. The volunteer at her polling place couldn't find her name in the system, so they gave Crystal Mason a provisional ballot. It turns out Ms. Mason technically could not vote because she was still on supervised release after serving time for a prior conviction. But she didn't know that. It was really an honest mistake, and because the ballot was provisional, her vote was never even counted. But the Republicans' Texas State Attorney General's office went after Crystal Mason anyway and convicted her of voting illegally. She was sentenced to 5 years in prison. 5 years in prison for trying to vote. And since then, Republicans have loved Crystal Mason's story because it is a threat that hangs over Americans, showing what could happen to them if they even make a mistake while trying to vote. That is, until today. Today, a Texas appeals court acquitted Crystal Mason. Today, after years of fighting this, Crystal Mason won.
It's been overwhelming. I cried and hollered when I got the news. Trying not to cry now, but 7 years. I've been out for 6 years on an appeal bond, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, not knowing if I was going to go to prison. So I'm really humbly grateful right now on the outcome. I lost jobs, lost good jobs, lost insurance. Just every night crying, praying, asking God, when is the end? You know, I knew victory would be the outcome. I can tell you that. It's been really rough. And when I got the news yesterday, I was just overwhelmed with joy. It's been a long journey.
Joining me now is Crystal Mason, who is now acquitted of voting illegally in 2016, along with her attorney, Kim T. Cole. Thank you both for talking about this tonight. It's a really, really, really important story. I'm sorry it had to be yours. Crystal, let me just start with you and how you're feeling. Do you feel free?
It's setting in on me right now. You know, again, like I said earlier, I'm overwhelmed with joy, and it's setting in on me as we speak now that I am actually free. I am no longer facing going to prison. So,
can you tell me, Crystal, what the last several years have been like? I mean, I know at one point you were having to check in every week to see if you were going to be locked up. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that experience has been like for you?
It was very difficult. Once I was convicted, I was sentenced back on the federal level. My supervised release was revoked. I had to go in and do 10 months in prison and another 24 months on supervised release. So I had to leave a good job, again, lose insurance, leave my kids, my family, to go back to prison over a crime I didn't commit.
What did your, I mean, I do wonder, I'm outraged, and I'm not your child, I'm not a friend of yours. Maybe we'll be friends one day, but, you know, for the people that know you and know what you did and see just the disproportional punishment that you've had to bear, what has it been like for your community of loved ones this period, and how did they react as you went back to prison?
It destroyed them. It really affected them a lot. And I think the reason why I was able to get through it was my children personally was like, Mom, I was ashamed. I was like I'm leaving you guys again. Like I am, like I would never do this, you know, to hurt you guys. And they kept telling me, Mom, you did the right thing and we're proud of you, you know, like, and that's what made me feel a lot better when I had to self-surrender and turn myself in, that they were there to support me this whole time. And, but my mom, her health got bad. You know, she had a lot of things going on because she's the one that told me to go vote. So she bared a lot of pain on this because she felt like that it was her fault, which it wasn't. She was just doing what any mother would do.
Yeah, of course. Any good citizen wants people to be part of the representative democracy. Let me ask your lawyer, Kim, you know, it's been remarkable to see Republicans keep going back to this, keep going back. I mean, they could have dropped this at any point, right? This became a subject of national attention. This is not the first time Crystal's been on this channel talking about this case. Why do you think they kept pressing ahead with it at each turn if the appeal was overturned? This has gone through various courts of appeal. First of all, do you think it's over? Because Republican prosecutors could appeal this decision, too. And why do you think it's taken so long?
First of all, I hope that it's over, and I trust that it is over. Because the facts of the case hasn't changed since Crystal's conviction in 2018. The facts are still the same. There was no new evidence presented. There were no new arguments presented. Everything was the same. I believe this went on so long because it could. As you indicated earlier, there has been a movement to disenfranchise voters, especially voters that look like Crystal and I. And so here in Tarrant County, this was, I would say, ground zero for that movement. This entire prosecution and conviction and sentencing was orchestrated, and it was done at the request of the district attorney to send a message to voters. And I believe it continued on because it could, as long as it did, because it could. And the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, thankfully, followed the law. Texas law is not equivocal. It is very clear that a person commits the offense of illegal voting if they vote in an election for which they know they are not eligible to vote.
Yeah.
That was the law at the time Crystal was convicted. They doubled down on it since then and said, you know, added an additional knowing clause in there to make it clear that the individual has to know that they're not eligible to vote. Crystal never knew. The facts are still the same. And fortunately, the Court of Criminal Appeals sent it back down to the Second Court of Appeals to have another look at the case. I believe their language was to apply the correct interpretation of the law to the facts of Crystal's case.
Crystal, it seems like the goal here was to terrorize you in a way, to keep this going as long as possible, to mete out the harshest punishment imaginable, all for a mistake. And that seems to be the point, to send a message, as your lawyer, Kim, says, to other people that look like you and her, women of color, communities of color, former felons, people who've made mistakes in the past. What's your message to all those people who have watched your suffering here and are seeing you vindicated, but, man, are terrified of the same thing happening to them if they choose to exercise their right to vote?
My message is know your rights. I started an organization, Crystal Mason, to fight against voter suppression. When I was locked up for doing the 10 months, I started writing things down. I started journaling the whole time. I came out, and at that time, I reached out to Kim T. Cole and told her this is what I wanted to do. And she helped me, walk me through it, and I started going to neighborhoods, knocking on doors, telling people, you know, how important it is to vote, sharing my story with them, and letting them know people are confused. Ex-felons, they're confused. They don't know if they're eligible, if they're not. So I in turn get that information, go back to my attorneys, and we get the right information to them. If they're eligible, I register them then, and if they're not, I tell them when they're eligible. So this is something I was not. I didn't, you know, this is something I was placed to do, you know. And so what I want people to know is don't let my story discourage you, but encourage you to go to the polls.
That's such an important message. I'm sorry you have to be the one to carry that banner, but it is a service to everyone, to the American public. Crystal Mason and her attorney, Kim T. Cole, thanks for sharing your stories tonight, ladies. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.